Chatham grabs the checkered flag. He wins.
Victories for Sam Bachman as he takes the win at the Port Royal Speedway.
Wins another one at the Knoxville Raceway. Blake Chapman wins.
A corner down here through the front straightaway. Watson gets the win here tonight.
Chad Greggs, Knoxville Nationals champion. But to the checkered flag, Blake Christopherson, your winner at Lernerville. Here they come off of turn number 4. To the checkers, Templeton takes the win.
Through the back stretch into corners 3 and 4 out here. It's going to be Watson for the win.
The 56 wins. First time winner Randy Streets.
But your winner at Weedsport is going to be Brandon Templeton in the Salty Dog.
See if that brings it back in. We got sound yet? Nothing. Well, I'm here. Oh, wait, let's try that. See if that works. Hello? Do we have me yet? All right, sounds like we do. All right, so we're here, ready to go. Finishing up qualifying right now. We got Trevor Guru out front with 16.203 as the quick time here tonight. We see Trevor Guru there in the 75T. Coming there through turn number 2. Down through the front stretch, or back stretch rather. It's going to get a little confusing here tonight as I try to keep track of everything that's going on. Got a few drivers out there on track. There's Terry Landis in the Yahoo None 61 as he heads down through the backstretch trying to set a decent time here. Look how slick them corners already are at the entrance there of 3 and 4. Coming down that front stretch now down here towards 1 and 2 as they work up there along the top side of the racetrack. Zach Chapman there in the 72. These drivers really bring it on here during this tonight. We got 20 drivers. Everybody will make the feature as the feature's 24 cars. Most likely we'll have either 2 or 3 heats, I would think. We'll see how it lines them up here in heat number 1. Here we go. Heat number 1. It will be 2 heats here for the limited late models. Ryland Banks getting out there on the pole here tonight. Kurt Schatzer there in second. Dean Reynolds in third. Sam Bachman there fourth. Jeff Barker fifth. Randall Dixon there sixth. Clay Christopherson in seventh. Zach Chapman there eighth. Stephen Bixler in ninth. John Dubai in 10th. That is your starting field here for heat number 1. 6 laps to go. This is the A&J Hometown Heroes tonight. We're here from... Crap, where are we here from tonight? I think this is Lincoln, but I'm not sure. See if we can get some sort of recollection. I want to say it's Lincoln. Let me look at the broadcast real fast. That'll tell me. Man. Well, no, the Coast to Coast one doesn't tell me, but Fleeger Farm will. If I can get over there and see that. Yeah, we're here at Lincoln, then we follow up with I-55 for the midgets here tonight. We come through there, turn 3 and 4 coming out here. Green flag is out. They're down and away. Down here in the corner number 1 they go. Side by side as they roll it on out here. Up there towards the top. Oh, no, and the 72 already. Or was that the... Oh, man, we already got one out. That's Kurt Schatzer. Jeff Barker also torn up. 76 of Ryland Banks tore up as well. They head down there through the front stretch. In the corner number 1 and 2 down through the backstretch now here with 5 laps to go. Up there on the top side is Dean Reynolds in that number 79 as they head back off onto the front stretch in the corner number 1 and 2 with Dean Reynolds out front. Up there on the high side that 007 of Sam Bachman as he's side by side of that 51 of Clay Christopherson down there out of corner number 4 back down through the front stretch. Hang on to it, the 72 there of Zach Chapman getting a little loose coming out of turn number 4 as he's up there on the high side, trying to hang on to it. Working down through the back stretch now here through turn 3 and 4, up off of 4, down here through the front straightaway. Whoa, hang on to it there, Dean, as a head down here. 2 to go for Dean Reynolds. Come on. Sam Bachman down there to the inside of Dean Reynolds now as a head down here in the corner number 3 and 4. Once again, up off of 4. Dean way up there on the high side, down through there, as Bachman's down there on the bottom side. He's trying to put the pass on Dean, can't quite get it done. He has to get back in line there. Christopherson there as well. Dean takes the bottom here through 3 and 4, brings it back up off. He's got a better line there, got the momentum, and Dean will get the win here in heat number 1. Schatzer, Barker, and Banks all having issues there in that heat race. But they're not out tonight. They still got a chance to try to bring it back. They're just going to be starting towards the back of the pack. Here we go. Heat number 2 on the board. Brian Dickens there in first. Scott Riome there second. Randy Shreve starts third. Trevor Guru there fourth. Brandon Templeton will start fifth. Andy Patton there sixth. Terry Galandis there in seventh. Bob DeGood there in eighth. We got Pat Boyce there in a 9 with Kelly Wheeler starting 10th tonight. Your Heat 1 results, we didn't get to them yet as they get rolling here. Dean Reynolds out there got the win. Sam Bachman there second. Clay Christopherson third. Randall Dixon fourth. Zach Chapman there fifth. Stephen Bixler sixth. John DeVise seventh. Kurt Schatzer eighth. Jeff Barker there ninth. Ryland Banks in 10th. That's going to set your inside row. Heat number 2 is going to set your outside row. As we said, we had 20 drivers. We got 9 on the board or on the grid right now. Kelly Wheeler did not take the grid. There we watch him coming out of turn number 2 down that back straightaway. Or I'm sorry, down the front straightaway. And here is the clear number 1. 2, they're side by side. Pace car is going to pull off. The entrance to pit road is off of turn number 2 here. Green flag is out. They're down and away here in the corner number 1. And off here. Looking great. Oh, no, we got them up there towards the outside wall once again down there through turn 3 and 4. Everybody's trying to work here off 4 as they headed on down here. Great job there by Scott Riome hanging on to second so far in that 444. Brian Dickens out front in that 122. Trevor Garou there out front, or out there in 4th as he's down there underneath. Randy Shreves, they're trying to put it 3 wide, coming there off corner number 4. Down here in the corner number 1 and 2. There they get it 3 wide with Trevor Garou down there on the bottom side. They foul it back out as Riome gets up to the outside, trying to bring it down through the front. There you see the 56 of Randy Shreves down there on the inside. Tight down there on the bottom as they bring it up off the corner. Bob the Good and Andy Patton having issues back here. And I see him coming there off turn number 4 once again down through the front straightaway. The 75T, Trevor Garou almost back here in the 5th as the 31 of Brandon Templeton battles on the inside here. Working out there. Brian Dickens out there looking great so far, getting that car to rotate just the way he needs to. As they work out there in the corner number 3 and 4. Brian Dickens there out front. Scott Riome there second. Trevor Garou there in 3rd. Randy Shreves out there 4th. With Brandon Templeton 5th. Working there onto the backstretch. I'm sorry we didn't have... there we go. Final lap. There it is. Your winner here, Brian Dickens, for heat number 2. Heat number 2 results. Brian Dickens will get the win. Scott Riome there second. Trevor Garou there 3rd. Randy Shreves there 4th. Brandon Templeton there in 5th. Pat Boyce there in 6th. Terry Landis there in 7th. Andy Patton there in 8th. Bob the Good 9th. Kelly Wheeler finishes out there in 10th. We'll be back after this short message here as we warm up for the feature of the limited late models.
These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and led me to a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, we're back here at the Speedway, getting ready here for the start of the main event here for the limited late models. Dean Reynolds out there in front, Brian Dickens there in second, Sam Bachman third, Scott Riome there fourth, Clay Christopherson fifth, Trevor Garou there in sixth, Randall Dixon there seventh, Randy Shreves in eighth, Dak Chapman there in ninth, Brandon Templeton in 10th, Stephen Bixler in 11th with Pat Boyce there in 12th. In 13th tonight, that's going to be starting John Dubai with Terry Landis there 14th, Kurt Schatzer 15th. Andy Patton rolls off in 16th tonight. Jeff Barker at 513, he'll roll off in 17th tonight. Bob DeGood in 18th, Ryland Banks 19th. And Kelly Wheeler not taking grid out there, rolled off 20th. And it doesn't look like Ryland Banks took the grid either. We're 1 lap to green, 25 laps the distance. Green flag's out. 25 laps to go down here in the corner number 1. There you see Reynolds falling back in the second. There as they come off the corner. What a bunch of cars we have rolling down here in the corner number 3 and 4. Going 3 wide there with Christopherson down there on the inside in that 51. Down here in the corner number 1 and 2 once again. The 56 trying to dive it there in the middle. That's Randy Shreves. That's battle for 7th right there. As Shreves tries to bring it up there through, you see the front of the pack there being led by Brian Dickens out there in front. 23 laps to go down here in the corner number 1 and 2. Wow, has this track slicked off here tonight. Down here in the 2, down the back stretch. And just look at that rubber laid down there through turn 3 and 4. Out here onto the front stretch. In the corner number 1, it's still Brian Dickens out front. Dean Reynolds there second. Scott Riome fighting there for 4th alongside Sam Bachman. We got Trevor Garou looking up there to the high side, see if he can get up there and battle with Riome and Bachman. Trying to see if he can get a nose in there. He does. As they get 3 wide down in the corner number 3 and 4. Bachman brings it down there, slides it all the way up to the top. That's going to stack them up coming there off of 4 down here in the corner number 1. And now Bachman gets himself up there in the 3rd. Battle raging back here in through 3 and 4. You see Dickens out front, Reynolds there 2nd. Bachman there in 3rd as you're watching the battle there for 5th. with Trevor Guru and the 51 of Christopherson. Guru's up there on the high side still, trying to get that outside lane to open up to let him get by on the outside. Just that inside lane still got a little bit left in it. We've got some two-lane racing here. You've got really up there through the slick, and Guru into the outside wall of 1 and 2. 18 laps to go. Great job here tonight by these drivers so far. As they head here off, next coming up, if you're keeping tabs, it's going to be the likes of the 360 wing sprint cars. So that should be fun watching them go around here at Lincoln as we got 17 laps to go for the limited late models. As we got Brian Dickens coming off of turn 4 up there towards the top side into corner number 1 and 2. Brian Dickens still your race leader with Reynolds there in second. And Bachman there in third. As they head off there through the corner. I see Reynolds. He's trying to get underneath Dickens. He's there. Can he make it happen down the backstretch in the corner number 3 and 4? 15 laps to go. Bachman as well trying to get in the mix for the lead as they come down through the front stretch side by side. Reynolds down there on the inside trying to slide Dickens up the racetrack a little bit. He does, and now he's across the nose of Dickens. Yeah, they slide it there through turns 3 and 4. He's going to end up losing some momentum. Drops himself back into third, possibly fourth there. As now he fights there with Guru. Guru getting underneath him. Reynolds back here into fourth. Yellow flag is out for Templeton and Barker. Try to see exactly what happened here with Templeton. We see him coming there. Oh, he gets into the outside wall hard. And, oh man, there it is. It just, something broke on that machine. And he couldn't get it off the racetrack quick enough before it looked like the 218 of Kurt Schatzer got into him. Yep, there it is, the front end of Schatzer, all gone. $12 laps to go. So we're not at the 10 laps to go yet, so it will be a double foul restart. If we were at 10 laps to go, it would be a single foul restart. Lights are out. We're going to go green this time. Pace car drops down. Looks like he's going to pull off. Out there down the backstretch. Brian Dickens out front with Sam Bachman there in second. You got Dean Reynolds third. Trevor Guru there fourth. Off they come now as they head back down the front straightaway. Everybody look out. Here comes the 4 of Riom to the middle. Trying to separate, and he does so. He gets that 75T up the racetrack, but Riom ends up falling back. He's now back into about 6th. They come storming there off corner number 4. 11 laps to go. And now we got Bachman down there to the inside. Here comes Reynolds. He's looking down there as well. Can't quite get there at that 79. Dickens now gets parked on the nose again to get beaten around. Oh, hang on to it, guys. Lots of beating coming there off a turn of 4. Now, Dickens gets shoved back behind Dixon. So he goes from out there towards the front, back there to about 7th. As now here we got Bachman out there to the lead. Reynolds there in second, coming there off. Yellow is out. Bachman, Dubai, Schatzer, DeGood, Bixler all involved. You see him come off the corner, down the front straightaway, the 21 up in that outside wall. Gets into the back of the 56, and then just mayhem happens here in the corner number 1. And trying to see, it looks like John Dubai ended up flipped over on his lid. Head out here now once again. You see there, they 007 out there in front. That is Sam Bachman. Dean Reynolds in second. Single file restart happening now as we're under 10 to go. We're actually at going to be 8 to go when we take the flag. Lights go out on the pace machine. We're going to be going green flag racing. You'll see them drivers get up there to the top side, trying to get out of that slick spot a little bit so the tires have some traction as they roll down the backstretch. Green flag is out. They're down and away, and I know I heard a car come across the start-finish line just ahead of the leader. Not sure who that was. Maybe we'll find out here in a few moments. We'll see. We got Bachman out there to the lead. Down through turn 3 and 4. Back up here off turn number 4. 7 laps to go for Bachman as they head on out through here. Dean Reynolds there in second. Christopherson there in third. Head down through the backstretch. There you see the 75 of Guru trying to get underneath the 11 of Randall Dixon. And up here off the corner, down through the backstretch, you look there, there's the 444 of Scott Riome. Clay Christopherson there in the third spot. Dean Reynolds there in second. Sam Bachman out there in front. Head down through the backstretch. 5 laps to go here in the main event of the main event of the Hometown Heroes Limited Late Models here tonight. Brought to you by A&J Custom Creations. I believe it's Custom Creations. I got to make sure I have that right. Yeah, A&J Custom Creations. Work down here off the corner. Down across the front straightaway. Sam Bachman out there in the front. Dean Reynolds there in second. Sam Bachman with the win here tonight. Dean Reynolds second. Clay Christopherson there in third. And we bring up the winners here. So Sam Bachman getting the win in that 007. Waiting on to see if they get here, but your race results, if we bring them up. I wait on the victory winners to find them. Sam Bachman will get the win here tonight. Dean Reynolds there second. Clay Christopherson third. Scott Riome gets fourth. With Randall Dixon there fifth. Trevor Guru there sixth. Zach Chapman there in 7th, Pat Boyson 8th, Andy Patton 9th, Bob DeGood there 10th, Kurt Schatzer 11th, Brandon Templeton there 12th, Jeff Barker 13th, Steven Bixler there 14th, Randy Shreves 15th, John DeBye 16th, 17th going to Terry Landis, Brian Dickens at 18th, Rylan Banks there 19th, Kelly Wheeler there in 20th. All right, here we go. Now on to our finishers, starting with Clay Christopherson. Good evening there, Clay. How's it going?
Pretty good with yourself.
Oh, it's going really well. That track looked like it rubbered up quite a bit here tonight.
Yeah, the middle started really grabbing traction, so I got down there as quick as I could, and then the last 5, I realized I could have been driving it a little bit harder, and I was making some room, but I don't think there was much passing happening on the last 10.
No, it didn't seem like you guys kind of got out there and looked like you were running about the same amount of lap time.
Yeah, it was pretty hard to make a pass at the beginning, and then at the end, it was almost impossible to pass it unless you got really side by side if they had a little push or whatnot. But it was tough.
You did a great job getting third tonight. You brought it up 2 positions from where you started. Kind of take us through how do you think that track felt tonight here in that late model?
I mean, it was a fun track to drive, but very one lane. I think another like 20 laps, 30 laps, a couple other lanes would have opened up, I think, so.
Yeah, it's so hard to kind of depict on how a track will, work out whenever you never know what your car count's going to be.
Right.
I mean, that's the one thing especially with dirt track racing that differs from asphalt is car count can really affect dirt track more so, or in my opinion, can affect the track more so on dirt than it does on asphalt.
I mean, asphalt brings in heat and whatnot, but yeah, there's definitely a difference, especially depending on the weather too.
Most definitely. So, you got sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank for getting third here in the limited late models?
All the guys at Coast2Coast putting this on, all the guys at FTM and Swan Speed Shop for 358 and Big Block sets.
Alrighty, well, congrats there on getting third, and are we going to see you racing more tonight?
Yeah, probably.
Alrighty, well, good luck in the 360s as that division's coming up next.
Thanks, sir.
All right, now we'll get with Dean Reynolds, our second place finisher. Good evening there, Dean. How's it going?
Going on, Adam? How you doing?
I'm doing well. What you think of the track tonight? It looked like it was slick in quite a few spots out there.
Yeah, it was. It slicked off in the corners there because we had, with the limited late models and the guys haven't run them in a long time. They did a lot of laps in the practice, so it burned off the track pretty good. The high side was good for the heats, but then I think the high side got too far out for the features. So then the middle came in, and then it was kind of a little bit tough to pass cars there, and we were try to pass clean for the lead there, and then we finally got there, and then stuff happened going into turn 3, and don't know why, but it is what it is. And then we got shuffled back a little bit, and then got a little lucky to get back up in second, and then I don't know if I used my car up or if I had a little bit of damage or what, but I had enough for Sam at the end. But I'll tell you what, though, the limited late models have been fun. The first 2 races have been really good. They handle nice. I think the guys are going to like them. I was a little leery coming into Lincoln, with the tight corners. I thought these cars were going to be really tight in the steering and everything else, but they were a pleasure to drive. So I think that made for a good race.
Yeah, it didn't seem like the drivers had too much trouble getting them to rotate.
No, I was the first one on the track when the track was fresh, and I went into turn 1 thinking these cars are going to push all the way up to the wall, and it turned, and I'm like, well, that was odd. And then I went into 3 and 4, and it turned again. And then slowly, as the guys got in the Discord, I said, guys, you're going to love this. These cars handle like a dream here. And they said, oh my God, it does. And made for a good race, and only 2 yellows at Lincoln with a full field. That shows you how easy the cars were to drive.
Yeah, I mean, well, not just that, but you guys really knowing exactly kind of how to race around each other too. I mean, that really says something as well.
Well, most of us do. But, I'm just going to stop right there. But, I mean, that's the way it should be. You know, you race hard, but you don't try to make any contact. I get sometimes accidents happen, but, it is what it is. And then, we try to race with respect. And that's what I do. I do it all the time. And sometimes I'll have to get raced how I get raced, and we'll have to do what we need to do. But it is what it is. And then we'll just move on. But, congrats to Sam for the win and Clay for third. It was an FTM sweep, Adam.
Well, we'll see exactly how it goes. I know there is another driver that, especially here on the sim, that some drivers don't take in consideration about, and that is the iRacing themselves. You guys can be racing clean all you want, and then iRacing can throw a wrench into something.
Well, there's a lot of things going on with iRacing. Like, I had my whole game freeze on me Monday night in a sprint car race, and then Trevor was on the outside of me here in a limited weight model, and his motor shut down. Like his motor blew up, and so there's some quirks with this latest setup, and this latest update. So and you don't know when it's going to bite you. So that you kind of don't want that. You hope they when they do the software to get all the glitches out, and they do some updates here and there, and hopefully they can get this fixed. Because I hate to be running up front and have something happen to you, and it's not your doing. And it's well, for lack of a better word, mechanical.
Yeah. I mean, but as I said, I know iRacing, they can throw the net codes in there whenever you think, oh, I got room. Now iRacing says no, you didn't, and stuff like that happens.
Yeah, and matter of fact, Brandon Templeton just put up a video there where we're end locked up, and I think that might have been what happened to Trevor too. So hopefully they can get that stuff fixed and we just go out and race.
Yeah, we caught that on the replay, and it looked odd. I mean, it was super odd the way that car just kind of locked up and stopped.
Yeah, and that just, like I said, that sucks. You don't want that to happen to anybody. I mean, we're out here to race, to have some fun, and then when they got a little bit of a glitch here, it just adds a dynamic to the event that you don't want. But I guess we just have to live with it right now until they get a patch and make it better. But hey, a great race. Again, limited late models. Glenn, Andy Patton sponsored and wanted to bring the limited late models here. Thank you for doing the telecast. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun here on Wednesday nights.
Sure looks like it. And you're saying about updates and stuff to iRacing. I know there's one planned for tomorrow. So if you guys are racing tomorrow night, be sure to make sure you get them updates downloaded.
Yeah, and hopefully it fixes some of the things that are going on right now. So, but thanks to the guys at FTM. Thanks to A&J Custom Creations. Thanks to you, Adam. Thanks to Coast to Coast for giving us a place to race. Say hi to Megan, who's watching on the couch over here next to me. And we're going to move to some 360 sprint car racing and have a good time.
All righty. Well, congrats, and can't wait to see how it goes. So good luck to you going forward.
All right, Adam, and then hopefully we'll see you in the modified tomorrow.
We'll see. We'll see.
Bring it out, Adam. Come on, man.
Well, it depends. If I'm in the booth or not again, because I know I got up in the booth last week, so it'll depend.
We'll message Robert and see what. Well, he had a little family thing where he had to go out of town, so hopefully everything's okay and he can come on back.
Well, I mean, it don't matter to me. I enjoy being here either way.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks so much for that.
All righty. You have yourself a great night there, Dean. Good luck in the 360s.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Good evening there, Sam. How's it going?
I'm going pretty good. You?
Oh, it's going well. And you got the win here in the limited late models. Great job getting that car to hook up out there.
Oh, yeah. Track got pretty racy throughout the heats or whatever, but then it seemed like that feature just kind of zoned into the middle a little bit. The only person I really seen the work from the top pretty good was Trevor until he got sucked into the wall or whatever happened to him.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Trevor. I know Templeton, he had a rear end lock up somehow. Maybe he should have checked the oil in that rear end of that before he started racing.
Maybe so.
But great job getting the victory here tonight in the limited late models. You got sponsor shout-outs, anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, the boys over at FTM, Gunner Swan Speed Shop, Dino World Super Dare Car Series, Expert Installation, Vertex Graphics, Fleeger, you for doing the broadcast, and Coast to Coast for putting us on.
Alrighty, well, congrats, and we'll see you coming up here in the 360s.
Might as well.
Alright. Alrighty, well, we'll see how the 360 race goes here in just a few moments. Congrats on getting a victory. Can't wait to see what you have going forward here in the season.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. Thank you.
All right, you have yourself a great night there, and good luck in the 360s coming up.
Hello.
That's Sam Bachman, our victory winner here in the limited late models from the A&J Custom Creations. Hometown Heroes here tonight. Can't wait to see what comes up here later. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this brief message with more racing action here from Lincoln.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. It's on the champion, trying to be a bit of a hiatus.
So let's get. Tonight we talked about it.
These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, we're back here at the Speedway. As 360s are completing their hot laps. Bring it down there. You're watching there the 75 Stephen Bixler. And the 21 there of John Dubai. Zach Chapman down there in the Shaggy TV sponsored machine. He runs down there through turn 3 and 4. 3 wide here in the heat laps. Hot laps, I mean. As Shaggy now gets it spun around there backwards. There comes Zach Chapman out there on track, trying to see what his lap time will be. Trying to get up to speed as best he can, and he rolls it through turn 3 and 4. Come to crack, grab the flag, he'll start his laps. Down there onto the back stretch. Bob the Good. Getting out there, putting down a 14.007. Rion with a 13.991. Reynolds with a 13.876. There comes Shreves with a 13.771. Dubai with a 14.386. Chapman there with the fastest time so far with a 13.697. Chatham now with a 13.464, taking the pole position. Barger with a 13.669 will take over second. Bachman there in fourth. We got 14 drivers here. I don't know if Cale Bixler is going to come out there to qualify or not. But everybody else has qualified. Okay, heat number 1 is coming up here. We got Pat Boyce getting done for the pole. Terry Landis there second. Zach Chapman will start third. Gavin Chatham will start there fourth. Gavin Shaw will start there in fifth. Bob DeGood start sixth. John DeBy there in seventh. That is your starting grid here. As we said, we had 14 cars signed up. So 2 heats of 7. Heat number 1 will go and set the infield or inside row of your starting grid. What more, Raggy? We got Chapman back here in third. Lights are out. We'll take one more lap around. Pace car is falling down. It'll go to the infield coming out of turn 2. Turns the field over. We're going to be going back green flag racing. Here they head out of corner number 2 they go. Pedals down here into corner number 1. They're 2 wide down there in through second as they head out of corner number 2. Down that back straightaway, everybody's getting single filed out there for the top 4. No, they don't. And whoa, hang on to it. The 710 ends up way out of sorts. The 7 ends up getting spun around. Bob DeGood doing what he can. Gets it spun back around the right way. Gets it going straight again. Now he's just got to try to play catch up as the field comes there through turn 3 and 4. Chapman way up there on the top side. There you see the 99 of Chatham. He tried to get that fast lap once again. Gavin Shaw, I don't know what happened there to him, but he got out of sorts there through turn 3 and 4. Ends up back here towards the back. And they now head through turn 3 and 4. Down through off of 2. Goes Terry Landis. Boyce out there in front. Chapman there third. There you see Chapman in third. Chatham in fourth. So you got Zach there third, Gavin Chatham there in fourth. 2 laps to go here for the A&J Hometown Heroes. Coming there out of the corner they go. As they go into corner number 1 and 2. Pat Boyce as your leader, Terry Landis in second. Final lap coming here out of turn number 4. Back out here onto the front straightaway. Boyce gets the win. Landis there second. Chapman gets third with Chatham getting fourth. Waiting on them all to come across the line. Here is your results will be in just a moment. Your results for the 360 winged sprints is Pat Boyce getting the win. Terry Landis in second. Zach Chatham in third. Gavin Chatham there in fourth. John DeBy there fifth. Gavin Shaw there in sixth. And Bobby Good rounds out in seventh. Your heat number 2 starting grid will be Dean Reynolds out there getting the pole position. Randy Shreves there in second. Sam Bachman third. Jeff Barker there fourth. Stephen Bixler fifth. Scott Riome there in sixth. And Cale Bixler there in seventh. And I don't see Cale on track. So here we go, getting started with heat number 2. Dean Reynolds out there popping the front end up, putting a little bit of a show on. He's starting out there on pole here for heat number 2. He got second in the limited late models. What can he do here for the 360s? Green flag, up off the corner they go, down the front straightaway, in the corner number 1 they go, up there on the high side, down there off, as they work down there. Look at the jump Dean Reynolds has, what a great run, but look out, here comes Sam Bachman down there on the inside, up there on the high side. That's the 56 of Randy Shreves. 5 laps to go here, Lincoln for the 360s, and for heat number 2, down that back straightaway. Down there on the bottom side, Sam Bachman's trying to get around Randy Shreves, cannot quite get that position done. That top side just looks really good as Reynolds is right up there against it. Right up there in the fluff, right where he really wants to be. Great job getting that thing to rotate and turn the way he needs it to. He's putting a little bit of a gap over top of second place, Randy Shreves, about 3/4 of a second. And about 2/3 of a second back to Sam Bachman. Oh, I'm sorry, no, it's about 6/10 of a second between Bachman and Shreves. What am I thinking here? Barker back there in for it. Got the 4 of Riom there as they head down off up 2. Final lap, Dean Reynolds out of the corner. He will get the win here in heat number 2. Randy Shreves there in second. Bachman there in third. Barker in fourth. Riom in fifth. Waiting on the results to be finalized. Heat 2 results, that's going to be Dean Reynolds there in first, Randy Shreves second, Sam Bachman gets third, Jeff Barker fourth, Scott Riom fifth. Stephen Bixler in sixth with Cale Bixler there in seventh. All right, now they come out onto the speedway. More warm-ups for you back after a few messages.
These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life and it's the lives of racers everywhere is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, we're back here. The RSN trackside grid for your feature. And looking like, yes, we got Pat Boyce out there on pole. Dean Reynolds in second. That is your starting front row. Terry Landis there in second with Randy Shreves there in fourth. That's your row number 2. Row number 3 on the inside starting fifth is going to be the 72, Zach Chapman. With Sam Blockman starting 60 is outside. Row number 4 on the inside. Gavin Chatham in 7th with Jeff Barker there in 8th. John DeBye in 9th. That'll be inside row number 5 with Scott Riome. And that 444 starting in 10th. In 11th, that'll be Gavin Shaw starting in the 710, starting 11th with Steven Bixler in the number 75 in 12th. 13th, that's going to go to Bob the Good in car number 7, starting 13th with Cale Bixler, starting there in 14th in the 789. And does not look like Bixler took the grid. One more time around, pace car is going to leave the track. We're going to be getting back green flag racing here in just a moment. Can't wait to see what these drivers have in store. 25 laps the distance. And then bring it on out here through off the corner. Green flag is out. 26 laps the distance as they pop it up there for Zach Chapman. Down there through corner number 1 and 2, trying to get it underway. Pat Boyce falls back here to third now. We do have problems. John Dubai back here, all broken up. Gavin Shaw also. Up there against the outside wall. Caution flag is out. Not sure exactly what happened here in turn number 1, but something went awry. We watch him come here off of turn number 4. Looking there at John Dubai there in the 21. He comes down, ends up into the bottom side wall, tries to collect it, and ends up going back up and getting into the back of the 710. They both get caught up. Gavin Shaw ends up trying to get turned around, can't quite get it turned around before caution comes out, but he is up out of the way. John Dubai is out of the way down there into the pits. Let them driver get them straightened back out. Gavin Shaw back out there, John Dubai. He's a lap down, back here towards the back. Dean Reynolds, your leader, or he was your leader. 41 there, Pat Boyce ends up back to the lead since they did not complete a lap. There'll be 22 laps to go when they come out there. And no, I'm sorry, Zach Chapman is, John Dubai is your, Dean Reynolds is your leader as he's down there on the inside. All right, no, take that back. Now the 41 is the leader. He's starting on the outside. Leader has lane choice. Pat Boyce chooses the outside as they come there off the corner. Down through the front straightaway. Reynolds ends up down there on the inside. And a bunch of cars end up having issues back here towards the back. Not sure what happened here. We'll see. Yellow flag is out, so see here if we can see what might have happened. I'll try to get up here towards the starting grid. Driver's just not wanting to get in line too well, it looks like. They come there off the corner. Caution flag waved once again. Green flag out. They're down the way once again. 41, the Pat Boys up there on the high side. Here comes Reynolds down there on the inside. Looks like we got him through this time. As they work down through the backstretch, there comes Gavin down there on the inside. That is Chatham trying. No, Dean Reynolds comes down the racetrack up into the outside wall. He's around. And we got one taking a huge tumble down through there. That was the green machine. That is, oh man, the 513 of Jeff Barker. Man, does he take a roll. There you see, coming there off the corner. Look there as we got him coming through there. You see Dean Reynolds up there in the outside wall, comes down off of it. Boyce is there as the 99's down there below him, and there's just nowhere for the three of them to go. The 99 there of Chatham ends up the outside wall. Dean Reynolds there gets spun around. And look out, here comes the 513, nowhere to go. Ends up getting launched off the wheels of Reynolds and taking a huge tumble down there through turn number 1 and 2. And a 99 is that the 75 there? That's not Stephen Bixler, is it, in the 75? Yeah, that's Stephen Bixler taking a tumble as well. Through corner number 1 and 2. All right, that makes 2 cautions so far. Now we got, third caution with 20 to go. They're up there on the top side. Pace car is pulling off. We're going to be getting back green flag racing here if we can. I see that 007 of Sam Bachman up there on the top side. Single file restart. And bring it down there in the corner number 1. Bachman getting a great jump there for the start. Coming down there off the corner. Look out. Here comes Chapman down there on the inside. He's working his way up there through the field. He ended up there towards the back. He ended up back there. Now he's working up through. See him there? Chapman worked down there on the bottom side. We do have a caution. John Dubai around once again. Stephen Bixler gets you a piece of it. Caution number 4. Hey, 21 there, and yep, there you go. Gets shoved down. Trevor Garou. Oh, I'm sorry, no, that is Stephen Bixler. Getting shoved around there. I don't know why I thought the name Garou. Chapman holding on to second here. Down there off the corner they go. 19 laps, the distance left. They work through turn 3 and 4. Bachman gets the gun going. And down there in the corner number 1, Chapman down there on the inside trying to get that bottom lane to work. Up, off, down there below the slick as they work down here in the corner number 3 and 4. Through the middle of 3 and 4. They do everything they can as you see them working down there in the corner number 1 and 2. Barger back here in 7th. They got the wing mounted once again on that 513 down there through the inside. And look out, we got one around. That's Randy Shreves. Randy Shreves, oh no, and the 75 takes another tumble here tonight. Somebody has a wheel going. And I think that'll be... I see a bunch of them working their way. 513, Jeff Barger missing a wheel. He just got that car fixed. Yeah, he missing the front wheel on that. That crew got it back together. Man, oh man. Take another look at this here down through the front stretch. And Randy Shreves lost it coming there out of turn 4. You see him working down the backstretch. And car number 56 up there against the outside. Is up there against the wall. Comes up, off, comes down, collects the 4, bounces off, ends up around. Gets clipped by the 513. And then the 75 there, Steven Bixler, ends up tearing him around. Bixler ends up on his side. He's going to be towing and most likely out of this one now. Yeah, Bixler is out. I see him working down here off turn number 2. Chapman, now your leader. Work here off. Zach getting that lead off down through the stripe into corner number 1. Bachman there second. Bob the Good there sitting third with Terry Landis in fourth. Gavin Chatham in fifth. Pat Boyce there sixth. John Dubai, he's sitting there in 7th as they roll down through here through corner 3 and 4. There's Dean Reynolds. He's trying to work his way back up through there. You got Shreves, Barker, and Shaw on pit road trying to get their cars worked on. Bixler is out. Chapman, he had trouble coming off of 4 there a moment. And they all storm down into corner number 1. You see them 3 wide there coming out of corner number 2. With the 7 of Bob the Good there in the middle of the race right here comes the Yahoo number 161 of Terry Landis up there on the high side. Through 1 and 2 they go on to the backstretch. There you see the 99. He had some issues earlier in the race as well. Gavin Chatham. They work down through the front stretch. And I'm sorry if you're getting confused between whenever I say Chatham and Chapman, because they do sound alike. Zach is out front. That's Zach Chapman. And then Gavin Chatham is back here in a second. Caution is back out for John Dubai. John Dubai ends up with a little bit of spin, enough for the race officials to deem in a caution. Randy Shreves is out now. Dean Reynolds down there in the pits. The 710 of Gavin Shaw also in the pits. Off the corner they go. Here they come. Chapman out front. Gavin Chatham there in second. Down there through turn number 1 and 2. 10 laps to go here at Lincoln. Up there in the outside, that is the 007 of Bachman. Now I work down through the front stretch here in the corner number 3 and 4. You see Bob the Good there up to 4th. Caution flag back out. This time for Dean Reynolds, Pat Boyce. You see Dean Reynolds coming down through. Pat Boyce ends up just a little sideways and just collects Dean there, spinning him around. Tough night for Dean Reynolds. Lights are still on the pace machine here as we get set to rock and roll once again. There you see, pace car is off. Hands the lead over there to Chapman for Shaggy TV. Doing the Monday broadcast here at Coast2Coast Racing Network. I'm your host here tonight, Adam Pleger, here with Pleger Farm TV. Doing the broadcast here tonight. We head on down through here in the corner number 1 and 2. Up, off, here they go, down through the front stretch. Work down off, here comes Chatham out there on the outside. Zach Chapman still hanging on the inside there. Now has to fall back in line as he works there in second. Trying to hang on now enough to try to get up there to keep that lead. But Gavin doing a great job getting the lead over top of Zach. We see Terry Landis rolling there in third with Bob the Good there for it. 5 laps to go. Sam Buckman back here in in 5th right now. Now in the 6th. Scott Riom gets around him as Bachman ended up into the outside wall. Gavin Chatham up there on the outside looking great. Running that wall line the best he can. He's driving that car definitely off that right rear tire here tonight. Zach Chapman there in second. Rolling through down there on the bottom side. Trying to keep that car going the way he needs to keep the 3 laps to go. Here they work through turn 3 and 4. Coming around, it'll be 2 laps to go. Down here through the front stretch. 2 laps to go there for Chatham. Out there in front with Zach Chapman there in second. Down there through turn 3 and 4. Coming around, getting the white flag. Can Zach get up there to battle Gavin? As they work down here through the corner. Gavin Shaw back here in 9th. If you're wondering where the other Gavin was. And Sam Bachman back here 6th. Dean Reynolds in 7th. Out there on track. Checker flag for Chatham. Zach Chapman comes around in 2nd. We're waiting for our race warm-ups to come in. Or, I'm sorry, not race warm-up. Our race results to come in. Your winning results here tonight are going to be Gavin Chatham getting that win here tonight. Zach Chapman there 2nd. Terry Landis there 3rd. Bob the Good there 4th. Scott Riom 5th. Sam Bachman 6th. Dean Reynolds there 7th. John DeBay 8th. Gavin Shaw there 9th. Pat Boyce at 10th. Jeff Barker 11th. Stephen Bixler there 12th. Randy Shreves in 13th. Cale Bixler in 14th. That is your field here tonight. Of the 360 wing sprint cars. All right, get here with Terry Landis, our third place finisher, if we can. Waiting on to see if they come up here into the waiting room here. There we go, Terry Landis, third place. Good evening there, Terry. How's it going?
Good. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How'd that Yahoo 161 feel out there on track?
Well, the Yoo-Hoo chocolate drink felt really good down low. It reminded me of someone else I know that runs down low there. But yeah, it felt good. The track stayed pretty good down low all night, I thought.
Yeah, it seemed like you could run either low or high here with the 360s, unlike the limited late models we watched previously. It seemed like we had a little bit better two-lane racing in some areas.
Yeah, you could run the top or even the middle. That's where Shaggy was running in the middle there, kind of. And I didn't have nothing for him, you know. And Gavin, I don't think anybody asked anything for him anymore. But yeah, it was a fun race.
Well, you did a great job. You got third here in race number 2 of the season. You got sponsor shout-outs. Anybody want to thank there for getting third tonight?
Oh, yeah. You, Adam, for putting it on and for your farm TV. And let's see, A&J Custom Creations. Without Andy there, we wouldn't be getting broadcasted and stuff like that. And C2C, if you're ever in this place racing, all the admins back there doing their job. And a special shout out to Price Old Track Parts, been things sometimes, call them to help you out. And the guys back at KSR, and put cart in the checkout when you go get your gambling like Judy.
Alrighty, well, congrats there, Terry, and can't wait to see what we got going on. Are you running the midgets at all?
Oh, yeah, we'll be there.
Alrighty, good luck.
Thanks.
That was third place finisher Terry Landis. Now we'll get with Zach Chapman. Come on, Shaggy, get up here. Good evening there, Shaggy. How's it going?
It's going, Adam. How's it going, man?
Oh, it's going real well. How's Monday nights treating you?
It treated me pretty good. I had to come out here and see if I still got it. To be able to talk smack to some of these guys. And, you know, I'm going to yank where, toot my own horn here, Adam. If I finish second to Gavin Chatham, okay, that's a win to me. I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah, he seemed pretty quick out there up there along the top side.
Yeah, I'm about 10, 15 minutes away from Lincoln. I consider it my hometown track. I admire the guys who can pound the wall down on Saturday nights, but Adam, that is not me. I ride that brake on the corner entry, get down as low as I can to the bottom, and just try to find that path. And it seemed like there for a while. That was the quickest line. Kind of went away towards the end, but, I'll take it. That's a good run.
Most definitely. And Lincoln is one of the tracks on my bucket list that I want to get to.
Yeah, if you do any golfing, there's a golf course right behind it. I go golfing at the bridges all the time. Nice golf course. If you ever come, Adam, my treat.
All right, yeah, I live over here about 15 minutes from Lernerville.
Oh, okay, so you're out west.
Yeah, I'm out west. Not too far west, though.
Western PA, I should say, for everyone listening. Western PA, that's not very far west, but...
Well, it's west from you, though. That's the kicker.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely.
Yeah, Western PA, yeah. I mean, maybe about, 3.5, 4 hours at the most?
Yeah, I'm about a little under 4-hour drive to Pittsburgh, because I go out there for hockey games and stuff. I'm a Pittsburgh Pirates fan as well. I don't like the Steelers, though. Redskins fan when it comes to football.
Uh-oh.
But Pittsburgh, everything else.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that wouldn't go too well here, but great job there tonight. You got sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank?
Just like to thank you, Adam, for stepping up and taking over Wednesday nights for me. This is the only Wednesday I'm going to be able to race. I'm actually going in to do the practice race with the group that I'm going to be broadcasting on Wednesday nights, so I'm glad I could come out here and put it on the podium the one time I'll be out here. But huge shout-out to you, Adam. You do a great job, man. You're going to do amazing here the rest of the season. Hopefully I can step in every now and then. But Andy Patton over there at A&J Custom Creations, I believe he's the sponsor for this, right, Adam?
That he is. Yeah,
so huge shout out to Andy for doing that. Can't have any of these awesome broadcasts without people funding it, and Andy, a big sponsor. His trophies are also amazing. So I'd like to shout out Andy, Dino for picking up some slack here at C2C, Jeff Barker, and last but not least, Bill Calder. Bill, we love you. We're thinking about you, and like I've been saying it every time. I don't know if you've heard it, but I say it every time just in case. Need anything, man, a meal, anything, dude, I got DoorDash. We'll hook you up. We'll get you groceries, whatever you need. We love you, Bill, and we've got your back.
Alrighty, well, congrats there, Zach, and Mr. Shaggy there from Shaggy TV. Good luck with your broadcast coming up, and we're going to go and broadcast the midgets coming up here.
Yeah, have fun with that, and man, don't be too good to Mr. Gavin here. Make him feel bad for beating me out of my only chance to win this season.
All right, I'll see what I can do there, Shaggy.
All right, good luck the rest of the night, Adam. Have fun.
You too there, Shaggy. All right, good evening there, Gavin. How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. Zach wants to know that he's not too happy that he took the one win that he might be able to get this season.
I was sitting there in second, and we definitely wanted Shaggy to win that one for sure, but we also, we're here to race. We're not here to finish second place, so definitely had to put the pressure on him and see what we could do there. And I definitely had. He was running really well in the bottom there. He had 1 and 2 hooked up pretty good, and 3 and 4 we had talked about it a little bit, and he was just missing the bottom a little bit there, and was costing his speed coming off the corner off of 3 and 4 there. So we were able to get the top rolling really, really good, and I don't think really anybody else was up there. So it was definitely tricky up there for sure. You had to be careful, be patient with it, but all in all, it was a good win and a great race with Zach there, and hats off to him on an awesome run. I hate to steal the win from him, probably at his home track there.
It is. That's what he was saying.
At least we kept it in PA, and PA driver won.
Oh, so you're from PA too there, Gavin?
Yes, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Pittsburgh?
Yes.
All right.
So I don't think
you ever get north at all?
A little bit, not too much though. Usually, I actually go east more than probably out to Williams Grove, Lincoln, and Port Royal than I do north. But I get up north.
Yeah, I'm up here 15 minutes from Lernerville.
Oh, I'm up there all the time.
Yeah.
That's about as far north as I'll go.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I didn't know how far north you go.
Yeah, no, about 35, 40 minutes from the speedway, so it's not a very far drive at all.
No, and they put on great action there, and like I was telling Zach, I want to get out to Lincoln.
Lincoln's Lernerville's a great track. Lincoln, we're pretty spoiled and pretty blessed here in Pennsylvania because we have Lernerville, Sharon, Lincoln, Williams Grove, and Port Royal, and I mean, gosh, there's so many in central Pennsylvania, Path Valley.
Oh, you got.
Nabs.
I mean, you go up and down just this western side. I know I go up in the Mercer. You got the Michaels Mercer Raceway Park that it is now. You come down, you got Lernerville. There's the Pittsburgh Speedway. Like you said, you had Sharon.
We're definitely blessed here. And then if you want to even expand it a little further, it's not that far into Ohio. When you got Eldora about 5 hours away, and Attica and Fremont about 3 to 4 hours away.
Yeah, there's a lot of great dirt track racing around here for sure.
Absolutely, we can't complain too much about it.
No, and every track has its own quirks to it.
That's what makes it great. That's what makes dirt track racing really awesome. Is each track is unique and different, and shapes and sizes, and it definitely by far probably the best racing in America for sure.
Most definitely. So congrats on getting that win tonight. You got sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, first off, I just want to thank you for doing an awesome job with the broadcast, and I want to thank all the sponsors, admin, everybody behind the scenes that helps put on these races, allows us to come out here and race, and I want to thank specifically AJ Custom Creations for sponsoring Hunt Heroes. I just want to thank FTM Full Throttle Motorsports, Northeast Outlaw Motorsports, Chatham Motorsports, Mike Schick Motorsports Designs, Velocity Race Design, Swan Speed Shop, Super Dirt Car Series, TPR, Tanner Credit Setups. Thank you for all the help and all the support we get. I just want to thank the fans for coming out and watch these races. I hope we put on a good show for y'all tonight. Definitely an interesting one there at Lincoln for sure. It's definitely pretty technical, especially there in the later parts of the feature. And I just want to thank my fans as well for coming out and watching the races.
Alrighty, great job there, and can't wait to see what we've got going forward in the seasons.
That sounds good. Hopefully we'll be talking to you again soon.
Alrighty, great job.
Right, thank you. Have a good night.
You too. All right, that'll wrap it up here from Lincoln. When we come back, we're going to be at I-55 for the midgets, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back with that in just a few moments.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we'll be talking about it.
These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. In the hospital 8 months, and that got really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash, found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they've done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life and it's the lives of racers everywhere is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
It's time for
All right, here we go. Getting ready for the midgets. Qualifying underway. We got Jack Hitt out there on track right now. We got, looks to be about 10, maybe 11 drivers here tonight. They head out here through I-55 down there on the bottom side. This is the Real Wraps and Designs Midget Series here this Wednesday evening. Templeton out there in front with car number 31, setting down the fastest time. Jack Hitt there in a second. Joe Halter there in a third. Terry Landis there in fourth. Bob DeGood there in sixth. Mike Weta back here in seventh. There you see Pat Boyce, Randy Shreves there in ninth. Stephen Bixler there in 10th. Brian Dickens there in All right, here we go. Qualifying has ended. Waiting on them to take the first grid here. 11 drivers is how many we have here. Starting grid for heat number 1 is going to be Bob DeGood getting out there in front. Brian Dickens there in second. We have in third. Going to be starting Jack Hitt. Brandon Templeton starts fourth. Pat Boyce there fifth. Stephen Bixler in sixth. Oh, here we go. We got 6 laps of distance here in heat number 1. There they come down there out of turn number 2 down that back straightaway. You see that 7 there, Bob DeGood trying to make some moves. You got Brian Dickens in the 122 up there on the high side coming there through. You got the Hooters, Jack Hitt, numbers 217 out there in the front right now. Down there on the bottom side, Bob DeGood up there on the high side. As they work down here off 75, Stephen Bixler down there in that gas monkey number 75, trying to bring it up there towards the front. Brian Dickens there second. Jack Hitt out there in front. Brandon Templeton in second as they roll off here, down here through turn number 1 and 2, back out there onto the backstretch. Hang on to it there, Templeton. You don't want to try to get it that type of loose as they work down here. Off in the corner number 1 and 2, back out onto the backstretch. Jack Hitt out there, 2 to go, coming around to the white flag. White flag in the air, they come down across. Final lap here for heat number 1. Down through the backstretch, Jack Hitt out there in front. Templeton there second. Brian Dickens sitting third. They roll down here across the stripe. Stephen Bixler, Bob DeGood. Pat Boyce back here at the back. Jack Hitt takes the win here in heat number 1. All right, out here it is Jack Hint out there getting the win for heat number 1. Brandon Templeton there in second. Brian Dickens in third. Stephen Bixler, he'll get 4th position here tonight. Bob the Good in 5th, and Pat Boyce gets 6th. That'll be your inside row. Now starting the outside row here. That's going to be starting in row number 1 here for heat number 2 will be Mike Weeda with Terry Landis there in second. Joe Holder there in third. Jeff Barker in 4th. Randy Shreves there in 5th. As you see, they're down and away, getting ready to start heat number 2. Pace car pulls off. Here we go. Green flags down there and way down here in the quarter number 1. The 66 there of Mike Weeda in the middle of the racetrack. And oh no, he gets caught under the outside wall. Sends Jeff Barker around. Now they're going to try to get straightened out. Mike Weeda is going to tow it back to the pits. There you see Joe Halter there in second up there in that outside wall. As we got Randy Shreves back there in 4th. Terry Landis out front leading the way. Now we got the battle going on here between Shreves and Barker. Down there, out of turn 2 in the corner number 3 and 4. 4 to go. Down here off the corner, across the stripe. Now 3 to go as they head here in the corner number 1. Up there along the top side. Hang on to it. There's Terry Landis up there on top. Down here in the corner number 1 and 2. Terry Landis up there at top, down that back straightaway. And work through the corner, back off. I'm sorry, that was the front straightaway. Now we work into 3 and 4. Here with 2 to go. Coming across the stripe. It'll be final lap here for Terry Landis. And that number 161 to try to get something done. He hangs on to the lead. Halter is there. He made a good run at it. Coming off of 4, it will be Landis for the win. Halter gets second, Shreves in third. Now we wait on the results to come in. Terry Landis out there in front. Joe Halter there second. Randy Shreves in third. Jeff Barker in 4th. Mike Weeda in 5th. They bring it on out here. Great job by these drivers. As you see, that is your Heat 2 results right there. Warm-ups underway here at I-55. As they work down there in corner number 3 and 4, working around here, down off. Now we got a 360 cam there in the infield. Spinning around here, watching everybody on track. I see him there. Great job so far here tonight. Now we got 2 minutes of warm-ups to go. Brian Dickens. Oh no! Trying to figure out who that was there that ended up a little sideways. There you see Steve. Oh no! Steve Bixler ends up getting caught up there with the 96. Or 66 rather, Mike Weeda. There's the 122. Brian Dickens almost sliding up into the 7 of Bob the Good as they work down here in the corner number 1 and 2. Minute 30 left of warm-ups. These drivers done a great job here tonight. the front stretch down there in the corner number 1. All right, here we go. Your starting lineup here tonight. That's going to be Jack Hitt getting the pole position here tonight. Terry Landis there second. Brandon Templeton there in third. Joe Halter there fourth. Brian Dickens fifth. Randy Shreves there sixth. Stephen Bixler there seventh. Jeff Barker there eighth. Bob DeGood in ninth. Mike Weeda there 10th. Pat Boyce there in 11th. All right, here we go. Getting this show on the road. Terry Landis out there getting it done. All right, pace car up, down and away. Here we go. Out there in the corner number 1 they go. Down there on the bottom side, Jack Hitt getting it done. As they head here off, we got them coming down here towards corner number 3 and 4, 25 laps distance. As they head off here in the corner number 1, once again, Jack Hitt as your leader. Working down there off the corner, down through the front stretch. There you see them all. Terry Landis in second. Templeton now up to second as they come across the line. Templeton's trying to get that outside lane to work. He works down here in the corner number 3 and 4. Up there on the top side. Looks like he's trying but can't quite seem to get it to roll yet. Jack Hitt has his hands full with Landis, but look out. Landis into the inside wall, goes around. The caution will come out for Terry Landis. 11 drivers. Great job so far by these drivers. Just a single car incident there with Terry Landis. Out here, 21 laps to go. Hit out there, and we got one in trouble back here. Trying to figure out who that is. Jeff Barker, Pat Boyce having issues. And look out. hang on to it. We got a couple of them getting real loose back here. Terry Landis getting in trouble back there. 19 laps to go here. They worked their off corner at number 2 down through the backstretch. Through the front stretch into corner number 1. Brandon Templeton out there in front. 4 laps to go here as they headed on out. Templeton out there getting the lead with Jack Hitt there in second. Randy Shreves there third. Jeff Barker out there on the bottom side. Brandon Templeton working there on the bottom side. 3 laps to go for Templeton. Jack Hitt up there in second. Shreves there third. Jeff Barker in sixth. They work on out through the backstretch. Down here in the corner number 1. 2 laps to go now for Templeton. Jack Hitt there in second. Jeff Barker third. Randy Shreves there for it. Terry Landis in fifth. Mike Ida there in sixth. Hang on to it coming down through the backstretch. Templeton and Hitt get together. And they come down there off corner number 4. Templeton gets the win with Hitt in second. Shreves in third. Barker there in fourth.
We can get these car counts up because I think if you ask most of the guys, everybody has a good time out here in these midgets.
I enjoy time trials in the midgets. I just don't have the confidence yet to run around people yet.
Yeah, it's a whole different ballgame for sure. But you know, no one's out here getting mad. So if anybody wants to come out here and get some laps, then we got plenty of room for you.
I mean, they are a blast though. Once you can get a feel for them, they are a blast. And I mean, if you're a sprint car, if you're a winged sprint car driver, driving these things will help you out in those too.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's another test. You know, different skills and everything too. It drives a little different, but definitely you get a feel for driving on dirt either way. I think anytime. So, yeah, just come give it a shot, guys.
All right, well, congrats there, Jack, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks, Adam.
That was Jack Hitt, our second place. Now we'll get Brandon Templeton. Good evening. Good evening there, Brandon. How's it going?
Pretty good.
That car looked like you had it hooked up very well tonight.
Yeah, midgets, you can just about keep it full throttle if you keep the angle just right. You know, got kind of slicky or tricky there at the end when it slicked off in certain spots, but good race overall.
Yeah, I don't know if I could run it full throttle the entire time.
Yeah, it's I've said it before, you know, wrecking with style. I mean, these things you're never really fully in control if you're going fast. You got to be a little bit on the edge the whole time.
That is for sure. I mean, I've done time trials, and this, you know, everybody says about these bumps in the bigger cars like the 358s or the late models. Yeah, hit a bump in one of these and have that front pick up, and then you're doing, you know, circles pointing towards the sky.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's usually full throttle, but then when your front wheels start hopping in certain spots, certain tracks, then you are really steering it with the throttle, so that makes it fun too. But it was just, you know, trying to keep it out of the wall, inside and outside, because you had to run close to them to get any traction at all.
Yeah, you had a great job. You got sponsors. Shout out to anybody you want to thank for getting that win here tonight.
Regal Wraps and Design, Extreme Images, Maley's Makery, Big C's Lawn Care, you for putting on the stream, everyone at Coast to Coast, Jay with Dirt Track Bank, Melbourne Bank, check out dirttrack.bank, and everyone back with Hammer Down Racing, Mike, Joe, Kurt, Brian. I mean, we've been working together, and it's just been awesome. It's good to see Joe Halter out for racing with us for a while tonight. It's been a while since I got to turn some laps with him, so that was fun.
All righty, well, congrats again getting that win tonight, and we'll see how it goes next week for you. All right, out with Brandon Templeton, our winner here tonight. Thank you all for coming out to watch. It was a great, great time. Can't wait to see what next week has to hold for Coast to Coast on the Hometown Heroes. As we will go with Pro Late Models tomorrow night for the Regal Wraps and Designs Pro Late Model Series. We'll be broadcasting that here. But if you're watching at Coast to Coast Racing Network or C2CRN over there on YouTube, we will be running all 3 series here with the help of another broadcaster. I forget what his name, Robert, is who's going to be coming in to do that. And can't wait to see. I'll be down on track personally, hopefully running the modified series. So thank you everyone for tuning in here at Coast to Coast Racing Network and Flicker Farm TV if you're watched over there. We had a wonderful night of racing, a lot of action here between Lincoln and I-55. Can't wait to see what next week holds. Thank you so much. Good night.